One of the earliest throwback action games that I loved on the Switch was The Messenger, and while its latter 16-bit Metroidvania phase wasn't quite on par with its earlier 8-bit one, it has really stuck with me for nailing the fundamentals incredibly well. While I wouldn't say you can make a direct comparison between them, that's the game that I ended up reflecting on quite a bit while playing Chronicles of Two Heroes, Amaterasu's Wrath. While there are many details that make the games different, for me there's just sort of a retro vibe to them both that connects them in my mind. As the title implies, in the game you'll be shifting control between two different characters. Kensei the more formidable samurai, and I am the more agile ninja. Between them you'll possess the skills necessary to tackle both enemies and some pretty tricky platforming challenges. And one thing I appreciate is that both of them are essential in different cases in both phases. While I am is more obviously suited to the platforming sections, for particularly large gaps you'll need to shift to Kensei in order to use his dash ability. Similarly, while in most combat situations Kensei's sword and armor are more preferable, there are times when IM's ranged throws will be more effective. While perhaps not everyone will embrace the need to continue to switch back and forth, I appreciated the challenge, not letting me get by sticking with one or the other for extended sections. Of course, as you may have guessed, this need to switch back and forth with great regularity can make for some fumbling of buttons at times, so if you're not particularly dexterous with the controller it may not be a great match. Similarly, if you would prefer to stick with either platforming or combat and not a pretty even balance of both, it also may prove to be frustrating. But if you take your time and allow yourself to be patient to get used to the controls and some of the nuances to making the most of your skills, the challenges can also be quite rewarding once you clear them. Extra challenges pretty consistently pepper the stage design, ensuring plenty of meat on the bone for challenge hounds. But it also feels approachable for people who aren't quite as adept if you leave those alone. This all comes together to make for a pretty appealing and refreshingly different Metroidvania-esque title. One that manages to walk the tightrope of doing equal justice to challenging platforming as well as some tough combat, especially once you begin to tackle the game's bosses. Typically, you'll see games go pretty heavily in one direction or the other, but this is one title that seems to be proud to go right up the middle, whether you're ready for the challenges or not. Overall, my final score for the game ended up being an 8.2, and if you're interested in picking it up, it's currently available on the Switch eShop for $19.99. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this review, and if you'd like more information or ideas of indie games worth checking out on Switch, be sure to click on the link provided in the description. Until next time.